In his first remarks following the FBI raid on his Mar-a-Lago estate, Donald Trump attacked electric cars in a weekend address that also managed to criticize two of his primary rivals, rising Republican star Elon Musk and outgoing President Joe Biden. Trump's hopes of being the first person to win back the White House since Grover Cleveland in 1893 were dashed last month, when law enforcement officials confiscated sensitive documents that had been illegally kept at Trump's Florida residence. The divisive apprentice reality TV star turned politician had been up against it lately. As Biden pulled through a number of significant legislative victories for his policy program, including tax advantages for electric vehicles made popular by Musk's Tesla, the Republicans have lost their biggest stick in the form of rising gas costs. Trump made a suggestion that he would eliminate any such subsidies during a speech this past weekend in the Pennsylvania coal mining town of Wilkes-Barre. He did so by telling a tale of a friend who was tired of driving their electric vehicle, EV, from Kentucky to Washington, D.C. because of all the supposed charging stops. According to Trump, the individual told me, please let's get rid of this stuff," and that it allegedly took the individual more time to charge the darn automobile than it did to actually drive it. Trump frequently uses stories based on unnamed, anonymous people that are challenging, if not nearly impossible to verify, to mask his own personal preferences in an effort to make them seem to have widespread support among the general public. One of the few Republican members of Congress that drives a Tesla is Kentucky's Thomas Massie, so it would seem doubtful that Trump could have been referring to him. The MIT-educated electrical engineer would be comfortable driving one because he has been a Musk customer for 10 years. Dispute with Musk. Musk's firm would undoubtedly suffer from any EV policy changes. Musk's business continues to rule the U.S. market for electric vehicles in spite of the best efforts of its rivals. 2 out of every 3 new EVs sold in the U.S., according to market research firm Kelley Blue Book, have a Tesla badge on the hood. Importantly, the forward-thinking CEO supports Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over fellow Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and has gained support from Republicans ever since he switched sides. He also opposes Trump's prolonged hold on the party. After Trump called Musk another bullshit artist, a following argument broke out, leading the Tesla CEO to inform the former president that his political career was ended. He concluded any discussion about whether he might support the real estate tycoon's campaign for a second term in the White House by writing, "It's time for Trump to hang up his hat and sail into the sunset." His endorsement of DeSantis puts him at odds with Peter Thiel, the Tesla CEO's old business partner and a prominent Silicon Valley venture financier who supported Trump early on during his successful 2016 presidential campaign. The automotive sector is unique. It symbolizes the waning of the American middle class, which was once supported by stable, well-paying factory jobs that also provided benefits like healthcare and pensions. By defeating Clinton across the nation's Rust Belt, Trump was able to overcome the heavily favored Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. Thanks to his criticism of the NAFTA Free Trade Pact, which sent thousands of jobs from American assembly plants south of the border, as well as his threats to slap harsh 25% import duties on Mexican-made automobiles, he was able to win over traditionally blue areas like Michigan. Despite the fact that Biden defeated him by retaking Democratic strongholds by supporting labor unions like the United Auto Workers, his gushing praise for Tesla's competitors like General Motors hasn't always worked out. Recently, CEO Mary Barra chose to construct the Chevrolet Blazer EV in Mexico rather than a factory run by the UAW. Trump will certainly require UAW members to once again put their faith in his America First ideas if he leads the Republican ticket in 2024, despite significant losses as well. But first, he will have to overcome DeSantis, whose support has grown since the House committee hearings on January 6 cast a negative light on Trump's involvement in the Capitol riots. Trump's criticism of EVs comes days after Tucker Carlson used a chunk of his daily show to paint these vehicles as a threat to individual freedom and a charade for state control since they can be subject to rolling blackouts by regulators like those in California. The controversial Fox News personality stated last week that you have hundreds of millions of Americans relying upon cars that the government can switch off in a second, that are by the way running software that follows your every step. Any car may be tracked with the right equipment. China implemented this for their new fleet of vehicles. However, Tesla is the company that pioneered the practice of gathering consumer data for the delivery of goods like its full self-driving assistance system and Tesla Insurance.